You're perilously close to, or maybe already in, those dreaded F decades, your 40s and 50s. You can no longer pretend you're young. Middle age has a firm hold. And with it comes a reckoning. How am I doing? Is this life I've built sustainable in my second act? For many of us, alcohol is the glaring red flag, either causing or masking our dissatisfaction. But change is hard. You're an old dog wondering if you can learn new tricks. I'm Dr. Donald Crowe, and I'm here to tell you it's not just possible, it's easier than you think. 30 years ago, I was exactly where you are now. I was wondering if I could quit drinking, if I had what it took. What I've learned since then transformed my life. People talk about change. Few follow through. In my office, I had a sign that read, "Change is inevitable. You go first." Our resistance to change is wired in. No matter how bad things get, part of our brain clings to what's familiar. But in your 40s and 50s, the reasons to change becomes blindingly obvious. The pain of staying the same begins to outweigh the pain of change. The reasons to quit have had time to pile up. In your 20s, you could write off the chaos as bad luck. But now, you've seen the patterns. You've connected the dots. You know alcohol equals consequences. You've cultivated a garden in your first act: family, work, relationships, reputation. And alcohol? It's become the weed choking everything else. You also start noticing a disturbing consistency. Every time you drink, the same outcomes follow: missed mornings, strained conversations, a gnawing self-doubt. You're no longer experimenting, you're gathering data, and that data is shouting at you to stop. You're wiser now. Maybe not every year at it equals wisdom, but time has taught you something. You're no longer seduced by more stuff. The job, the car, the house. You've had them. They didn't fix it. Now you're ready to look deeper, to question long-held beliefs, to use your brain not to escape, but to engage. You've realized if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always gotten. And maybe for the first time, you're not just hearing a motivational quote, you're feeling it in your bones. That line you've crossed where the hangovers aren't just physical, they're moral, emotional, and spiritual. The gap between who you want to be and how you're living has grown too obvious to ignore. So why is it actually easier to get sober in your 40s and 50s? Let me break it down. Number one, you've built a stronger why. You're not quitting on a whim. You've got decades of evidence showing alcohol equals pain, chaos, and regret. That deep motivation is rocket fuel when cravings hit. Number two, you have more resources. By this stage, most people have a more stable income, health insurance, and access to support services than they did in their 20s or 30s. Therapy, coaching, treatment programs, even time off work. These aren't abstract ideas anymore. They're tools you can actually use. Number three, you've learned humility. In your 20s, advice sounded like criticism. In midlife, it sounds like a lifeline. You're finally willing to ask for help and to receive it. That stubborn belief that you had it all figured out, it's fading. Number four, your social circle has matured. Most of your friends aren't at keg parties anymore. They're raising families, building careers, and worrying about their health. Peer pressure to drink heavily drops dramatically. That makes it easier to change your habits without feeling like an outsider. Number five, your body still wants to recover. Even though you've got some miles on the odometer in your 40s and 50s, your body is still remarkably resilient. When you stop drinking now, you often feel the benefits: clearer thinking, better sleep, clearer skin, much faster than you expect. Those early wins reinforce your decision to stop and help you stick with it. That's a pretty powerful combination. Not weakness, not too late, an actual advantage. Those 5 reasons aren't just theory, they're lived experience. That's why so many people, including myself, quietly succeed at getting sober in their 40s and 50s. The trigger can vary between the individuals. Maybe it's a coach, maybe it's a support group, maybe it's a physician or therapist, maybe it's that midlife crisis that's just too much to ignore. Middle age has taught you the humility to ask and the courage to accept help. If you do, that's when everything changes. Let's talk about the body again. Waking up pain-free, that's not just a distant memory. It's a clue that your body still wants to get better, if you give it the chance. Getting hammered at the office Christmas party at 45? Not a good look. Everyone sees it, and worse, you see it too. But this shame can be a powerful tool, because once you've seen it through sober eyes, you can't unsee it. Sobriety becomes contagious. And it starts with you. I used to fear that sobriety meant giving up laughter, joy, freedom. But then I laughed sober, and I remembered it. It was better, more real, more me. Here's my truth. It was easier to get sober in my 40s, but I only found that out after I quit. Within weeks, the fog lifted, but then the truth hit. This isn't a single event. It's a process, a beautiful, imperfect process, driven by reshaped beliefs and new action. You may think you've wasted too much time, but the opposite is true. Your history is now your advantage. Those hard lessons you've been enduring, they're your fuel. You're not starting from zero, you're starting from experience. And that's why, for many people, midlife isn't a handicap for sobriety. It's a secret weapon. You've got perspective, resources, and a deeper why. And why is what keeps you going when the how feels impossible. And here's the kicker. You're not alone. There's a whole wave of people in their 40s and 50s resolutely making the same decision, choosing clarity over chaos, choosing freedom over self-destruction, and discovering, like I did, that their lives' second act can be even better than their first. Sobriety at midlife isn't about retreat. It's about advance. It's not about shrinking your world. It's about expanding it. Your second act is waiting, and it can be your best act. Please subscribe and like the video, and drop a comment. What decade are you in, and what's waking you up? Remember, giving up drinking doesn't mean giving up anything real. It means opening the door to the life you deserve. Check out this video where I explain why asking if you're an alcoholic is the wrong question. I'm Dr. Donald Crowe, and I'll see you in the next one.